No, it really takes a special kind of chutzpah to come to a committee that has already called for the abolition of your organization. You've really put, I think, your organization at a disadvantage. So when we say Article 6 or Clause 6, seek to attract investment from the private sector investors and institutional investors. Where's the private money?
May I ask in this project specifically?
Yes.
So as I think Mr. Jimenez was explaining, our money is only a portion of this purchase. BC Ferries will go out and raise the rest in the private bond markets, in the capital markets, and they will issue bonds, and there will be private capital for the rest of the ferry purchase.
So
that's a blend of our money and private capital.
So you're interpreting to have debt instruments as bringing in capital into Canada, even though we're going to be paying that money back plus interest, correct?
No!
Mr. Chair, if I understand the question correctly, the mandate of the CPAC is not bringing money into Canada. It could be Canadian money or external. So
it does say to attract investment from private sector investment.
Yes, which could be Canadian or international. I'm just saying it could be.
So your part then, infrastructure projects in Canada are partly in Canada because this meets none of the criteria.
What?
Well, Mr. Chair, respectfully, I don't think I agree with the premise of the question. The infrastructure is in Canada, partly in Canada. All of the charging infrastructure, shoreside, which is $300 million of the $1 billion of our loan, is
infrastructure project. It is not being constructed here, sir. So it is the same as me driving a car from another country and then using it in Canada and claiming somehow that has Canadian value.
Well, Mr. Chair,
I think you and I have different opinions on this, so I'd like to hear your opinion on this other than. The minister has said he's given you, his organizations under him, direction on Canadian content. Have you received those instructions from the minister in writing? For future CIB, is for Canadian content to be included in future projects?
Mr. Chair.
So yes or no?
No, to date, we have not received any direction around Canadian.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of strange because he said that he kept arguing that you guys are independent, but somehow he can force you to include those kinds of things. Okay. Now, he also did say, and I'm quoting exactly from Hansard, the next day I was in conversation with the CEO of the Infrastructure Bank to find out what had happened, to clarify what happened and what recourse there might be to, what opportunity there might be to reverse direction on that financing. You said in your testimony when you had that conversation with him there was no discussion about cancellation. Who's right?
Well, of course, to the best of my recollection, Chair, our conversation really was centered on him understanding the details of the loan, the rationale for why we made the loan. That's the conversation as I recall it, certainly.
Okay, so you're saying that there was no mention of cancellation. All right, well, I thought that'd be interesting.
And here we go.
Mr. Chair, I would like to move the following motion. That in relation to the committee's study of the Canada Infrastructure Bank's financing of new vessels for BC Ferries, orders do issue A, to the Canada Infrastructure Bank and the British Columbia Ferry Services Incorporated to produce the complete bond purchase agreement entered into between those two entities on March 28, 2025, and which is disclosed on page 5 of BC Ferries Management's discussion and analysis of financial condition and financial performance published on June 12, 2025. B, to British Columbia Ferry Services Incorporated to produce 1. Records outlining the particulars of all options which it explored for the acquisition of 4 new vessels and questions, including vendors, suppliers, shipyards, countries of origin, and per unit prices. 2. The complete commercial agreement it entered into with either or both of Chinese merchants Jingling Shipyard Weihai Co. Limited or China Merchants Industry Weihai Shipyard Co. Limited for the construction of the 4 new vessels. 3. Any agreements, contracts, memoranda of understanding, letters of intent, or term sheets concerning the operation and maintenance of the 4 new vessels or of any systems, subsystems, or charging or other supporting infrastructure necessary for the vessel's operation. 3. Any BC Ferries internal decision-making post-C-SPAN and Shiroka consulting reports on ferry replacement. 4. Any document unredacted under the subject NMV evaluation results preferred proponent. C. to the Canada Infrastructure Bank, the Department of Housing, Infrastructures and Communities, including the Office of its responsible minister, the Department of Transport, including the Office of its responsible minister, the Department of Public Safety and Emergency Preparedness, including the Office of its responsible minister, the Privy Council Office, and the Office of the Prime Minister to produce all records, including agreements, memoranda of understanding, minutes of meetings or discussions, and briefing notes or materials concerning the Canada Infrastructure Bank's financing of BC Ferries projects, including specifically BC Ferries acquisition of the 4 new vessels and related charging infrastructure, and D, to the Canada Infrastructure Bank, British Columbia Ferry Services Incorporated, the Department of Housing, Infrastructure and Communities, including the Office of its responsible minister, the Department of Transport, including the Office of its responsible minister, the Department of Public Safety Emergency, including its office, the responsible minister, the Privy Council Office, and the Office of the Prime Minister to produce all correspondence, emails, text messages, or any other electronic communications exchanged by any of them or between any of those federal government entities and the Government of British Columbia since January 1st, 2023, in relation to BC Ferries acquisition of the 4 new vessels and related charging infrastructures, including any Canadian content requirements. Provided that, E, all documents shall be deposited with the clerk of the committee no later than August 29th, 2025, in an unredacted format and, except as provided in paragraph F, in both official languages, who shall distribute them to members of the committee as soon as possible, and F, all documents deposited by British Columbia Ferry Service Incorporated, 1, may be deposited in their original language, 2, be translated by the Translation Bureau, which the committee requests this request be done on a priority basis by September 12th, 2025, and 3, shall be distributed by the clerk of the committee to members of the committee as soon as the translations are available. And if you really want it, Mr. Chair, I will do it en français as well, but I do believe by this point we've emailed it in and we do have copies so that all members can take a look at it, and I hope you find it in order. I'm happy to start by speaking to it once you find it in order.
Thank you very much, Mr. Albas. The first thing I would like to do, because we do have to now move and dispense of this motion, which I think might take some time. I'm just taking a guess here, but I think that's what's going to happen. So I would invite, first of all, I'd like to thank our 2 witnesses.